Hi, this is James from Tabletop Gaming Guild, and today we're going to look at CharmaKards. This is going to be a two-player skirmish style game where it is biblically themed. Let's go ahead down to the table here. I'll show you a general idea how the game plays, and then we'll come back and I'll give you my final thoughts. Alright, so this is CharmaKard, and CharmaKards, we got 4 different decks in here. So we got this Angel deck, this Natural deck, this Ancients deck, and this Fight deck to play with. In this game, you're trying to just defeat your opponent, and they're going to have up to 3 to 5 creatures. The base game, you're going to do 3 creatures. There's a variant where you can play up to 5 creatures once you become adept in the game. Each of these decks is pretty asymmetric. So here's going to be the Angel deck. In the Angel deck, you're going to have 5 different creatures. You're going to pick 3 of those to play with here. Like this one has Michael, it has Cherub, it has Seraphim, it has a Leopard, it has Gabriel, and it has several other cards in here. And these are going to be your action deck that you can use to play in the game. You can see it has some Thunderstorms, River of Eden. Here's some other really cool cards it has. And there basically you can have 5 of each color in this deck. And that's going to be the construction rules for this game. You're going to have 5 of each color. So you can make your own decks afterwards, but these are pre-made starter decks that you can play with. Here's another one here. This is going to be the Natural deck. Alright, and so this deck here is going to have some pretty cool creatures in it. This one's going to have this Leviathan. It's going to have Sea Beast. It's going to have Scorpius. It's going to have a Carcass. It's going to have a Behemoth. And some really cool like natural themed cards. And again, 5 of each color in here. Green's natural. Like Stormy Sea, Walking on Water, Death Water, Geyser, and the Well. Also, a thing you'll notice too that each of these is going to have a verse listed in it, so you can look it up in the Bible and sort of give a nice flavor text to each of these cards. So every single one of them has them in here. So that is the Natural deck. I also got in and each of these plays pretty differently, so it's pretty nice because you can go through these and have a lot of gameplays with just these 4 starter decks. This one here is going to be, this is the Ancients deck, so this one has Joseph, this one has David, Moses, and Noah, and Enoch. And this one here is going to have 5 of every color. So you have Burning Bush, Burnt Offering, Fire Nado, Pillar of Fire, Heat Wave. You're going to have Helios, a Luminous Dove, Menorah, all sorts of Covenant, Ark, Mana. So all sorts of really cool things. And each of these action cards sort of work with all the creatures do work with all the creatures in here. So that's really cool too. And there's really nice themed decks. The final deck that I have in here is going to be the Fighting deck. So, and again, it's going to have 5 monsters in here. You're going to be picking, or 5 creatures in here. You're going to be picking 3 of them. So this one has a Giant, Samson, Jacob, Centurion, and Goliath. And you're going to have Firefox, Tongue of Fire, Touch of Fire, Crop, Incense, some really cool cards in here, and again you're going to have 5 of each color. And that is the Fighting deck. So what do you do to play the game? Well, first off, you're going to pick 3 of these guys and then flip them straight down. This is going to be your creature pile. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to shuffle your deck, your support deck, and you're going to place it over here. Each player is going to pick one of their creatures. So I'm going to pick one of my creatures here. We'll start with him. Place them here. Then each player is going to flip them over at the same time. That's going to be the starting deck. Each player is going to draw 5 cards. And we're going to be able to play these down on the field. So I did forget to mention real quick, before you start your turns, once you flip over your creature, you're going to get dice or chips or whatever you want. But you need to show what the health is, which is going to be the health here, so 3. And you're going to also need to show what your attack is. Here in this case is going to be 9, so I'll put those 5. And there's 4 die to show down. You can use chips or dice, whichever way you want to do. And currently no defense, so I don't put a die down here. And players can always know what these are. Once a character gets down to 0 health, it's going to go into the creature grave. And on your turn, beginning of your turn, you have to select a new creature to put out. If you're out of creatures, you've lost. If you've knocked all your opponent's creatures out, you have won. Cards go face down in the creature grave, and support cards that are removed. So if there's support cards out here, they'll go with the creature that gets knocked out. They'll go face down into the grave also. Opponents don't need to know what's in your grave. However, there are some cards that let you pull stuff out of your grave. So keep in mind that potentially the cards aren't always going to be completely out of the game once they get to the grave. That is a possibility. On your turn, you can make up to 2 moves per turn. So this can include playing a support card from your hand, using an attack of their creature, replaying a card, and or discarding a card just to be able to draw up, get them out of your hand. At the beginning of your turn, you will draw 1 card, so I'll draw 1 card. And there's going to be a couple different symbols that you're going to pay attention to on these cards. And we'll go over that right now. So there are dependent cards. Let's see if I have any dependent cards. So dependent cards like this candlestick right here. Again, going to have a religious verse in here, but if you have any yellow cards in play, attack with attack of 3. So this is dependent on having yellow cards out here. The other cards you have are going to be replayable cards. These can be played up to 3 times. And you're going to have continuous cards. Of course, I don't have a continuous card in here. And they're going to have the little infinity symbol on them. So this is a continuous effect. Once you put it out, it'll remain there. Doesn't have sort of like a static effect if you play Magic, where the card just gives an ability to you for the rest of the game. And so on my turn, I can do up to 2 things. So this Furno Sword has an attack of 2. If you have any other support cards in play, you get an attack of 4. So if I place this one out here, I suggest putting a die here marking 3, because you can use this card up to 3 times, and every time you use it, you're going to tick that down. Now if I use that card and I attack the opponent, I will that'll be my second action and my turn will be over, and I'll move that down to 2. However, I could place down another support item. And a couple of things that I could do is, let's see if I have any here. So like this one here can restore health if I needed to on my creature. More attack cards. There's going to be defense cards here, so I can up my defense like if I wanted to. And some cards actually have prerequisites on them, where you have to actually discard a card to play them. So like discard 1 card and then double the effect of another support card. So I could place this one down if I had it in my hand and discard a card out of my hand to the support grave. And this would double this one. The next turn I could probably attack with it if I wanted, or whatever I wanted to do. And basically that's going to be how you're going to take your turns. You're going to continue until all the creatures are, all your creatures are knocked out, or all your opponent's creatures are taken out. And at that point, one of the players is going to be the winner. So let's go ahead back up to the table here, and I'll give you my final thoughts on CharmaKards. Okay, so CharmaKards. You have a lot in each of these different little asymmetric decks. This is going to be a fast-paced 2-player game that you can play at the end of a night. And I like the biblical verses on there that explain like the creature or the artifact that it's associated with. So you can look it up in the Bible. I like how asymmetric the decks are and how different the play feels for some of them. And I like how fast-paced the game is. So if you're looking for a biblically themed collectible card game, this is probably going to be the one that you're going to want to check out. So that's my thoughts on CharmaKards. Thank you for watching.